Hey, what's up, everyone? It's EvenJackStevens, back after a long while. I know I should probably be playing Sakal right now to check out all the new stuff that's come out with 1.27, which ended up coming out a couple days ago, but it's been a long, hard winter, and I frankly just don't feel like hanging out in the winter in game even. So I decided to fire up a new series and play some Livonia just because it's nice and lush and green. So yeah, we're gonna be checking out Livonia for this series. Still kind of working on what this series is gonna be. It's gonna be in the style of Solo Wanderer because the few of you that have reached out kind of prefer that format, and honestly, I have the most fun with making that format. So that's what we're gonna do with this. I'm still kind of working on in-game goals and all that fun stuff. If there's any any of that anyway. So I've got some ideas anyway. So another thing is you'll probably quickly notice that I am not actually doing live commentary right now. I got a new computer recently, and this is really the first time that I've recorded any footage. I was super stoked on finding this Mark II pretty much immediately, though. It's like a good way to start a life off: jacket, hard hat, all this. But anyway, I never went in and set my default microphone to my desktop mic, and it defaulted to my headphone mic, which isn't even plugged into my headphones. So I spent basically 2 hours last night playing DayZ, talking to my own self. So to start doing the minor editing that I do for these before I post them, and realize that I didn't have vocal audio, which honestly is pretty disappointed about, because there's honestly this for first little 2 hours, man, a lot of shit went on. So I kind of hemmed and hawed about whether or not I was gonna do a no commentary first series, but this is really the first, one of these type series that I've posted in, I guess, going on a year now. So I wanted to at least have something for folks to listen to. So yeah, I'm gonna be just doing an overdub for this episode, and then I've gotten all my recording issues sorted out. So the next time I sit down, I actually get new gameplay footage for that. So kind of want to get into a little bit about what happened to Destination Pavlovo, because I know there was quite a few of you that were invested in that playthrough, and it was honestly a really cool playthrough. There were some cool things that happened, towards the end, but what had started happening is I would be rendering footage down. Renders would take about an hour and 20 minutes based on the file sizes, and around 45 minutes to 50 minutes in, my computer started to crash to desktop. And I don't sit here watching my computer, and sometimes it would crash to desktop even earlier than that. And at a certain point, you just come back in an hour and 10 minutes later, and the computer's restarted. Your file's only halfway done. You can't start in the middle of a file. You just have to restart it again. And that was really frustrating. Sometimes I would be on 3 or 4 attempts before I could get one. So you're talking about spending 4.5 hours an hour long video footage. On top of that, they've changed it now, which is really nice. But DaVinci Resolve was having, I don't know, its functionality when I started using it was as such that the audio track was synced with the video track relative to the frame rate, which was really bizarre. Yeah, look at this, padded gloves already. Badly damaged, but still. What was I saying? Oh, the when you're playing games and your frames fluctuate, and over the course of fluctuating frames, the audio would desync with the video. So I was also having to encode videos via an app called Handbrake. So it, basically DaVinci would not be able to decouple the audio track from the video track. So you figure you're spending 30 minutes using Handbrake, spending between 1 and 4 hours rendering footage, and then trying to put that footage out in a consistent basis. And I don't really have that much free time as it is. I just got mega frustrated. I was having some stuff going on at work, and my family had some very positive things going on in the background, but things that required my focus. And I just kind of got pissed off and threw my hands up, and that was kind of it. Got frustrated. So I had already always intended to post the footage when I was in a little bit of a better headspace to have the patience to do it. And unfortunately, a couple months ago, I guess, towards the beginning of December, I guess, shortly after I posted the Sakal video, Jack and Meech do Sakal. My storage drive corrupted, and I lost all the footage for Destination Pavlovo, and so that's gone. And that was pretty much my sign. I'd already had a sign anyway, but I'd been tossing money in a savings account for a while now for a new computer. And when I get a new computer, I start putting $50 a paycheck aside for the next one I'm going to buy. And so I just kind of started to put money in that fund a little bit more aggressively so I could get a new rig. And I guess probably about 4 weeks ago, I went and finally got a new rig. So it's pretty beefy. I haven't actually tried to render any footage yet. I'm crossing my fingers that I'm not going to have the issues I was having with my old computer. So hopefully we'll be all good to go again. That being said, Destination Pavlovo, basically how it ended is, we just basically were taking circles around the map collecting NBC loot, and everything was more or less uneventful in that pursuit. I did have to go to the Northwest Airfield and check out the medical tents there, and on the approach there was some gunshots. Found a dead body kind of half in, half out of the hangar that's got the medical tents in it. It was mostly looted. Never came across any hostile stuff by the time I was there, but it was just kind of exciting at the time. And eventually made it into the gas zone at Pavlovo, and went in there, a belt, canvas bag, Mosin rounds. I had went in right after someone else had been there. There was dead zombies everywhere. And I thought for sure I was getting ready to get into a fight inside the gas zone at Pavlovo. And so I was taking it very slow. And I think I only went in with 4 gas filters. And there was nothing. Most everything was looted. Zombies were dead. I wasted 4 filters, and I came out with a bunch of nothing burgers, really. So the build up to getting to Pavlovo was, it's all about the journey, but it did kind of have this ends up being a pretty clutch find right here. And surprisingly, just to make a knife. But yeah, I was ultimately a little bit disappointed when I actually made it to Pavlovo. So, it was the end of a playthrough. I didn't really see myself running around to get charcoal or more filters to try to go for a round 2. And I just kind of took the character out to there was that river stream that's running north-south to the that's running north-south on the western side of Chinaris. And I just went out in the middle of that and F12'd, maybe somebody ended up finding my gear. I don't know, but that's how that kind of situation went. So I do apologize for not finding or finishing that series, and I am really gonna try to not do that again because I don't know if I'm when I'm watching content on YouTube, I get kind of invested in the series too, and if I was kind of in the middle of one and kind of trusting a YouTuber to be keeping up with it and getting invested, and then it just stops, like that's disappointing, right? So I want people that come here to know that if I'm going to be taking the time to post stuff, like that there'll at least be an ending of some sort to it. So I apologize for that, and but also, I kind of wanted to thank a couple of you, preferably by name, that's reached out a couple of times over the past couple of months. And, oh, I'm messing with shit. I need to stop. Okay. Check. Okay, sorry. So, I need to, you guys just watch what's going on. I'm going to pull up my YouTube account on my phone real quick. I would like to thank you guys by name. It might take me a while to find what I'm looking for. All right, so Hat Tricky Music 3950. That was an 8-month ago comment, and just rereading it, I think maybe I don't know. Rereading it here recently, I appreciate this feedback. If you're even attempting to still watch my channel in this post, you kind of hitting the nail on the head about it being DayZ ASMR, and kind of it being therapeutic and things like that. I think somebody had said. Trying to find more directly what it said, but anyway, Hat Tricky Music 3950. I appreciate you because that's kind of what I wanted to do with this series. Like, I listen to YouTube videos and stuff while I'm going to sleep because I can't get my brain to shut off a lot of times when it's nighttime, and you know, I don't like it when the commentary is very loud and animated, and I like watching live streams, but sometimes there's a little bit maybe more interacting with chat. I run into this with the Running Mans a lot. Like, I love watching him play DayZ, but like, you might spend 20 minutes listening to him talk about football, and I just don't really give a shit about football. So I kind of wanted to make something where it's more of a relaxing thing. If people want to watch it to unwind, if they just want to see, long form content and this, that, and the third. So, that message kind of showed me that this was resonating in a way that I had initially envisioned. And so that kind of gave me a little bit of a bump. And then most recently, within the past couple days, Neofool, I guess is how you pronounce that. You're probably going to be the one that's most directly responsible for me starting this series now, because I think I was probably a couple months out from getting back into DayZ in this capacity. So I appreciate you reaching out, man. And I kind of got your message first thing in the morning when I woke up, and I was like, damn, you know what? Like, let's just go, man. I've been playing KCD2, and I'm maybe 60, 70 hours into that, and starting to get a little burnout, even though I'm probably not even halfway through the game yet. So I just felt like it was a good time. 1.27 dropped on DayZ, and they changed some stuff, and I hadn't really been in a cycle where I'm playing DayZ right on wipe day, to be honest. So a lot of the loot that I'm finding is like fresh server loot, which I'm not really. I don't have that experience often. So this was kind of a cool session that I'm playing here because I end up finding some decent stuff early on. So yeah, Neofool, appreciate you, bro. This series is more or less yours at this point. I hope you like Livonia. I know it's not like a favorite map of folks, but I love Livonia, man. Like, I don't know what it is about it. I feel like it feels a little bit more lived in than Schnars does. And I don't know. I just kind of really like getting geared up and then heading south and like dipping into the woods and like not coming out, just kind of stalking around, seeing what's going on. So we're gonna see. I think kind of my goal with this is gonna be a little bit more of a longer term, maybe across different characters playthrough, to where I set up a couple stashes, with the ultimate goal of maybe finally getting into the bunker. I've never been in the bunker in Livonia. I have played Livonia probably 80 or 90 hours by now, to the point where I've been kind of rotating around military convoys to try to find the ticket, the punch ticket or punch card or whatever it is to get into the bunker. And I just hadn't been lucky with the drop yet. So I may end up collecting NBC loot so I can just go pick up a card from one of the gas zones. I don't know. I'm still working all that stuff out. So, but anyway, just going to be doing a Livonia playthrough. I think that's all the catching up type deals that I needed to do, as far as like getting invested and just maybe talking about what's going on screen here. Just wanted to make sure I gave thanks where it's due, because support does not hurt as far as motivation goes, and that was some of that. Those messages were very motivating for me, so I appreciate that. So while I'm playing here, I'm kind of I've actually got all the sound turned off right now, so I don't hear an echo of my voice while I'm doing this voiceover on DaVinci. I know, if I can remember right through here, that there's some gunshots going off. We're in Topolin here, and Topolin is a fucking madhouse. Like I'm terrified of Topolin when I play Livonia. Like 9 out of 10 times I try to spawn Livonia, race a fishing pole, get a couple pieces of fish, maybe some clothes, whatever I need to make a rope, that type of deal. And I get to hell away. Like the new fresh spawns on Livonia, 9 out of 10 times are absolutely savage. The fact that Sakal was a little worse in the spawn towns, when it first launched, was like shocking to me. Like damn, I thought Livonia was bad type deal. So I don't remember exactly when and how you see the gunshots or hear the gunshots in the background. And but I know that there's people around us right now, and I'm just kind of focused on my hunger and trying to get ropes together. I was stoked on finding this collar dress so I could get that full stack of 6 rags to put together to make rope here. And yeah, just kind of bopping around. I had done some time talking about how I'm coming up now. I think the first Solo Wanderer series, I think maybe I was 150 some hours in when I started that. I can't remember what it was, whatever I billed it as, but since then I'm coming in on 400 hours now. So I've played quite a bit more DayZ. I'm still not. I can very rarely stick to one game just all year long. That's all I play. So I usually get like a good DayZ run in. If I can get a good one lasting me 20, 30 hours before I die, then that might be my run. If it's more like 6 shorter lives to where I'm being a little bit more reckless or whatever, I always get to a point where I'm like, I'm pulling DayZ for a little bit. So I don't even know where I'm going with that, but let's see, we talk about the rags and shit. Anyway, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So my playstyle is a little bit different than it was in Solo Wanderer, even though I think this is probably essentially going to be Solo Wanderer 2 or next or whatever you want to call it. I'm still methodical. I'm still slow. I still prefer stealth to kind of W key. But I'm also, when you play DayZ, I'm sure when it's fight time. If you haven't been into a lot of fights, you're getting that adrenaline dump, and you're getting shaky, and you kind of lose your thought process. After you get into a gunfight, and if you win, trying to loot up after that and pay attention to what loot you're grabbing is kind of crazy, you know, because it's like your brain's, you're dealing with adrenaline in your blood system. So I'm not really one to want to, when I sit down and play DayZ, I want to play DayZ. I don't want to play like DayZ Deathmatch server, even though I understand that's a good way to practice gunplay in DayZ. So I would probably say around 200, 250 hours. Like I get loaded up and then like I'm going to KOS like that. I've just been practicing PvP that way. And it's been ending badly for me most of the time. I can't lie, but I'm getting better at it, you know. I don't necessarily plan on doing that for this series because I don't know. I've done it enough now. What happened was, see what had happened was, the last time I was playing, the last run I did on this game was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I played Livonia then too, and I needed some boots, and mine were, I couldn't find a leather repair kit to save my life. My shoes were fucking up, and I was at the I don't know what they call it, but there's a facility in the middle of the map that's kind of in a valley, and it's got all these industrial buildings and some guard stations and a couple, 3 barracks in there, and you know, I chased some gunshots there, and man, came across this guy. I was hiding in a bush with the sniper rifle, man. I guess I'd probably been sitting in there about 5 minutes, you know, trying to figure out where the shots were, if the people left, if I could see any evidence of people haven't been there, and I couldn't. Man, I finally saw this guy, man, and he had zombies mobbing him. He was limping. You could tell he was hurt. He climbed up in the bed of a truck that was outside of one of the buildings there, and he was shooting zombies that were trying to get at him from the ground, and you know, I blew his head off. I blew his head off so I could take his shoes. and then the more I thought about it, how much cooler would it have been if I would have just sat in that bush, popped those zombies for them, and then maybe went to go see if I could help them out with bandages and stuff like that. So I think that might be like the first time when you're like, when you're learning DayZ, like you're more used to getting shit on all the time. And I think the natural instinct is to want to go ahead and shit on people. And after you've done that for a while, maybe you start seeing that there was possibility of a different way. So I think I'm kind of there after that. And so I don't want to commit to saying I'm not going to KOS this run, but I'm not going to KOS yet. is what I'll say. We might get to a point towards the end. Of course, once you get geared out and you're down south and you're in the high tier loot area, somebody's going to have to catch one. Or it might be me, but just as far as like being in Topolin, having these people running around, like I am not trying to fight right now, and that's kind of what's going in my head. Like I want to get my food situated. I'm getting thirsty. My water's in the red here. There's however gunshots going off in the background, just signs of people, and that's kind of what my mindset is right now, and just getting the food, getting the water, so I can go ahead and get the hell out of Topolin. So that's where we're at right now. And for the first solo wanderer, I very willfully did not use a map. I will be using a map for this playthrough. I've got a pretty decent idea. My way around a good portion of Livonia without the map, but you kind of miss some of the stuff in between, and ultimately, I don't study the maps, but I like to have it on in the second monitor, and I'll zoom into the little quadrant that I'm in a bit, and just use that to inform my pathing through the map a bit. So we'll be doing that here. I'm kind of considering maybe adding some map overlays into the game just to kind of trace out my path. Just by the by, this on 1.27 here, that was the new one of the new repair animations for using duct tape. With this new patch, they've added new animations. They added some new sounds. I'm still a little dubious on the twig crunching sounds that they've added. I kind of like the fact that maybe they've nerfed stealth a bit. I think we've all been in that house to where like you come out of it and some dudes manage to like walk right up on you and you didn't hear him at all, and you just get the shotgun in the face when you open the door. That's kind of frustrating. But at the same time, when you get into the woods, the way the twigs snap is like, I think it's too frequent. Maybe like I go hiking quite a bit. It's like one of my favorite hobbies, camping and that type of shit. You hear leaves rustling more than you do twigs snapping when you're walking through the woods. So I don't know. But we'll see. I'm open-minded on it. It's just that's probably not my favorite change with 1.27. I like the new animations. I haven't gotten a chance to hear a lot of the new gun sounds and things like that. So, oh yeah. So right here, you hear the flies or whatever. I imagine I'm walking over here to this guy. I think actually I hear somebody walking, if I remember correctly. And this will be the time we kind of get my first sight on a player and end up having a gun out, I believe. And I just kind of fucking book it. It's like I said, I'm not even trying to do this right now. Running around deathmatch in a starting town is not my thing. I was thinking he had saw me and he was going to come running after me, so I kind of set up in this bush here. I was going to kind of set an ambush for him, but I didn't hear him walking my way, and I felt like the best thing to do would be to get some distance. So I'd been heading for the well, which I knew was in this general area, but I could not quite remember exactly where it was. My thought was that there was a secondary well up here, in the elevated part of Topolin, which I think ultimately I'm wrong about, because I did kind of go back and reference a map after I was done playing this, and I didn't see a water well up here. I think I was thinking of a different town, but reason I'm kind of going up here right now is to see if I can find a water well that isn't as spicy as the one down the way by the fire station. I'm trying to be mindful of the fact too that while I'm playing, I don't actually talk the whole time, and I don't see any need for me to sit here and color commentate every second of this. There's a lot of stuff I kind of wanted to get out of the way at the start of the video. You know, administrative stuff, where I've been, what I've been doing, what's new, all that type of stuff. Thank yous, all that. Probably getting more to a part of the video now where I feel like maybe I can sit back and just chill and watch along with you guys right now. I am starting to panic a little bit while I'm playing here. I mean, it is... the Topolin's a fucking madhouse, bro. Like, there's dead bodies everywhere, you know, gunshots licking. I'm red thirst, I'm losing health, yellow hunger. I can't... You know, I'm kind of starting to get a little nervous that, you know, my big return to solo wanderer or whatever, I'm gonna end up like thirsting to death in the first 20 minutes or whatever, you know. So I've at this point in the episode, I'm kind of nervous, you know. I'm kind of amped right now as I'm playing because I'm like, fuck, what I'm gonna do. Wife is in the other room, seemingly watching YouTube or TikTok or something very loud. I'm hoping it's not coming through the microphone, and if it is, hopefully I'll be able to edit it out. But if not, I apologize, and there ain't no way I'm gonna sit here and do this again for another 2 hours. So, you know, it's just some liveliness going on in the background there for us to enjoy. Another thing that they added with 1.27, which I think I discussed when I found the fishing pole on that guy, is that they kind of retooled. That's hilarious. Sorry, hold on. Alright, so I just told you guys that I had all the sound turned off, so when I'm doing this voiceover, I don't hear the input delay in my voice coming back at me, and I don't want to feel like I'm speaking over the in-game audio. I'll adjust the mixing when I render it, but there's no sound going on right now, and I had my headphones on. They just automatically cut off because there hasn't been any signal sent to them, and I guess we're going on 10 minutes or however, wherever we're at right now. So that's funny. I just took my headphones off. But yeah, they kind of retooled the onboard slots on backpacks so you can like stick compasses and certain melee weapons on it, and it just kind of will free up some internal inventory space, and you can actually hang it on your bag and shit. So I like that. Where I'm at right now is I'm basically like, I hit red hunger, I don't really have the luxury to go looking for another well that I'm only semi-positive is on this road somewhere. And I don't actually think it ends up being one on this road. But I'm kind of getting to the point that you get to in DayZ to where, you know, you would like to play it safe, but shit's getting real and you can't. So I just got to go down here to the fire station, near the fire station, and drink out of that well, and you just acknowledge that things may be out of your control, and you just got to kind of go see what happens. So that's where I'm getting to right now. Like, all right, this shit's getting serious. We gotta figure something out. Sorry if y'all can hear me drink. I'm wondering if y'all can hear what's going on in the other room right now. I don't see like my mic actually picking up anything, but I don't know, maybe it is. Yeah, I am pretty stoked though. I went ahead and got a pretty beefy rig, and it was like the first time that I was able to take all the DayZ settings and just turn them all the way up. Like I think maybe the view distance isn't infinite, but I got everything fucking cranked on this thing, and it looks really good to be playing. I maintain frames. Now the GPU fans will kick in for sure if you got a hunting scope up and you're looking 800 meters out or whatever, and it's rendering all that landscape and stuff. Like the computer will work for it, but it maintains good frames, and it just this is for being as old as it is. DayZ really is a gorgeous game. It's like, oh, there's the well. It was kind of in that. There, I see it sticking up. It's like, oh, another fucking dead body. I am actually gonna go see. No, I'm not. Pick your battles, boys. If you guys are in relationships, pick your battles, sir. Or ma'am. This is one of the more stressful water pump stops that I've had in a while. So I really don't like. I really hate Topolin. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's large sections of this town I've never been in because I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm out of here. I'm actually gonna go run down and refill my glass of water. I'm gonna keep this playing just because I want one singular voice track to mess with. That way I don't have to worry about it getting out of sync and all that stuff. I can just butt it up against the beginning of the footage and be good to go. So I'm just gonna mute my mic and I'll you guys enjoy for a couple minutes. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm coming down here to fish. If I remember correctly, we managed to find an actual fishing rod and an actual fishing hook, which is big. They've kind of balanced fishing in that if you have an improvised fishing rod and like a bone hook or a wood hook, the fish that you catch give you limited quantity of the actual nutrition density that they're able to provide you. So having a real fishing pole and fishing hook right now is going to get me like almost pristine fish, which is huge. And once again, it's just kind of just look at all this shit that's laying around on a fresh server, you know. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out a good place to do the fishing now. And I pretty much figure that this is wide open, and I'm gonna cross the river here to get into the reeds. Like a concealed spot that's nearby. Since we've got water taken care of, and I gotta get these fish. I dug up 3 worms because I think I was gonna try to pull up 3 fish, you know, and hope that they weren't, you know, you get into a situation like this, you dig up 3 worms and you catch 3 wellies. You know, it's like fuck. And but ultimately, just based on how dire my food situation's looking and all that, I think I ultimately end up deciding to just catch 2 and go cook those up. I kind of flounder around a little bit. Get it? I kind of flounder around a little bit with the fishing here because I had read that they had changed fishing to be you had to be a little bit more responsive on the yank to catch a fish, and I hadn't actually fished with an actual fishing pole in a while, so I kept mistaking normal water splashing for a fish yanking the fishing pole. So I kind of mess up a couple times here until I'm like, oh, I'm not waiting long enough. There we go. Look at that. Look at that nice fat boy right there. You know what I actually just noticed? So before I started this playthrough, I took the time to customize a character that I wanted to run this playthrough with. I think I used the old grizzled dude with the gray hair, and I guess I must have picked out of habit. I picked a random survivor. So I got this dude that wasn't necessarily supposed to be on this playthrough, but hey, you know. Yeah, I think this is where I'm hearing what the twigs snapping sound like for the first time, and I'm just not like. I feel like maybe the mixing or something's off. Like there's like a little bit too much high end in it. It's like a little too tinny. I don't know. Might just have to get used to it. I think they should lower the frequency of them. And do something where they're maybe not quite as abrasive. I take the gloves off because I'd rather risk the hand bleed than damaging those gloves before I get a chance to repair them. A new stick snapping animation. But you know, it's like delightfully DayZ janky. It's like, you know, some of these things you kind of go through the motions and you kind of have to use a little bit of your imagination, like wringing out clothes, right? It's like that's just like your flat clothes model and you're just kind of wringing it out. But you can still get immersed in it if you use a little bit of your imagination, which is like, you know, I don't know how old a lot of you guys are, but I'm unk status for sure. Like my early 40s. And so I've been playing video games since the 80s. And before the graphics got real good, you had to supplement video gaming with your imagination quite a bit. So I'm not mad at that, but at the same time too, it's like you know, snapping at a stick that size, that's just like one good pull across the knee, buddy. Like you ain't maybe if the stick I guess if you know what, you're cutting down a bush, it's alive. So actually the stick is probably kind of green and rubbery, which it would probably be more like that to try to break, but then it would not light so easy too. So I'm not trying to get into it like that. But anyway, I appreciate the stick snapping animation, but they could have probably had him pop that thing over his knee 1 or 2 times less. Yeah, so my dude's all starting to get hunched over. Half-Life, get hungry. Another thing that they did, I had mentioned this when I found the first batch of Mosin ammo when I was doing live commentary, is that they nerfed the Mosin this patch. Actually, it's they took away some of its damage at range and decreased its accuracy slightly. Which I'm not necessarily a Mosin man. If I find the ammo for it, and I find the Mosin early mid game, I'll use that to get a come up. But um, I hadn't really been like I'm gonna drop everything for a Mosin the way a lot of people are. But even still, like that'll shake the game up quite a bit. I think I remember on Wobo's video them saying the SV98 is now the best long range sniper, if I recall correctly. I do really love the new heat system that they introduced for Sakal, though. I think it has quite a bit of depth. Not quite a bit, but enough depth to be interesting for the game. Anyway. I think they also changed the amount of time that the small sticks actually burn for, too. This patch, if I recall correctly. I don't think by much, but I think that's why I loaded up the fireplace with all those sticks for just cooking 4 pieces of meat, because I wasn't sure. first time where I decided I'm gonna kind of sit down and I can't remember, was I doing some repairs or inventory management or what the hell I was doing. Oh. I think you're trying to pause it. I must have alt-tabbed in game for a second, looking at the map or something. And if you happen to be new to DayZ, or if you're playing Sakal, you have had to have figured out how good fishing was, but it really is. And I don't really even bother trying to loot for food anymore. Early game, like just go loot for rope and a knife. You get a couple pieces of fish in, you get some water, and you're good to go in. Go ahead and start heading to tier 2. This is where I remember you need a leather kit to repair padded gloves. So the plan from here is that I'm going to follow the river to the west and get out of the immediate vicinity of Topolin, cross the river, and then start heading south to Zalesi, I think, however you pronounce that, which is a town that I've never actually been to. Sorry, I got a text. Which is a town that I've never actually been to, but it just seemed like it made sense to be on the path and hit it up for the first time. I've been to Pioneer, I think that's what it's called, the little summer camp that's outside of Zalesi. I hadn't actually been into the town. So I'm kind of shocked this guy, this zombie Negan, is chilling this far in the woods. This dude right here, I could have lit his ass up, but I don't, because like I said earlier, I'm not trying to KOS this early on with that. I'm going to give him a wide berth, but I have to admit right here, I was almost trying to let the intrusive thoughts win. I was kind of talking about this when I was doing the live commentary, that I was like, man, I could have smoked that dude right there, just took his head off. And, well, he was wearing a helmet, but I was like, nah, let's not do it. back of my head, it was just going like, shoot him, shoot him. And that's one thing too. You hear like you hear a lot of people complain online or whatever about kill on sight. And it's like such a like a built-in bias to that, because like you only notice the people that killed you on sight because they killed you on sight. Like I guarantee you, across your playthroughs, you've had all kinds of situations like what just happened where somebody had eyes on you and they just weren't, they didn't want to smoke, or they just decided they weren't going to kill you and let you live. Like I've let people go ahead and have a town when I seen them. I've had them dead to right, shot them in the face, and I just leave town, let them have it. Like so you don't actually know how many people haven't killed you on sight to be able to say that everybody kills on sight. Unless you're fresh in Topolin and you're about 85% sure somebody's going to kill you on sight. In my experience, anyway. Somewhere around here, I don't know if it happens quite yet, but somewhere around here, you end up hearing a bunch of gunshots. And I think our buddy that we just let live anyway, he was probably involved. And I hope he's all right, or he got the best of them, whatever. Like I said, if my commentary on certain gunshots and audio is a little off, it's because I don't have any sound playing right now to avoid hearing a microphone delay while I'm doing the voiceover. So I'm just kind of going off memory from last night and kind of context clues on what I'm watching here. So I might not be completely on. But I just remember I was getting here and I was like, man, please let me get the hell out of this town. I will say there's a little bit more, it's a lot easier for me to think about things to talk about and articulate when I'm just doing a voiceover and watching the footage than when I'm actually playing. I have a really hard time focusing on gaming and talking at the same time. And, buddies kind of joke on me about it when we're in voice chat and they're all cutting up, and it's like, if I'm focused, man, I can't even hear what they're saying. Certainly not talking much. So this is kind of a different experience for me, just watching and talking this way. It's my lack of ability to talk and play at the same time well is part of the reason why, like, I've kind of thought about like streaming DayZ when I play. Like, it would be kind of a cool way to like kill two birds with one stone, right? Like, this is a hobby that I do. Like, I'm not really, I've got a pretty decent day job, and I'm not looking to make this a living. I just really like watching people play games, and I kind of just want to be involved in that, And so you say, well, shit, I kind of post these videos and people like them, and it's kind of a stream format where it's like long format stuff, um, minus a lot of the talking to the community. Um, so it's like I can do that and get the footage while I'm streaming, you know. But it's I'm really bad at talking and gaming at the same time, so I'm a little hesitant to say I'm going to do that because it's like, a good streamer is going to be paying attention to chat and interacting and this, that, and the third. And it just seems really fucking stressful if I'm completely honest. Not to say that I won't ever do it. It's something that's on my mind is probably being kind of fun. But at the same time, I'm kind of worried that I wouldn't be so good at it. Or that it would kind of... It's like you don't want things to do... You don't want things that you do as a hobby. Well, I don't. Some people love it. Anytime I've ever had a hobby that's gotten big enough to where I could make money from it or be doing it at a certain level to where you stop doing it when you feel like it and more because you feel obligated, and it starts feeling like a job. I don't like fuck that. I'm doing this for fun. When I was younger, I skateboarded a lot from the time I was like 12 until I was probably 24, 25, and I was on like a little skate team in my city, and that's what I fought for. Just let me get on the skate team. I'd love to be on it. And then I finally got on a skate team, and it's like all of a sudden you're having to get all this footage and this, that, and the third. And skating spots because they look gnarly and not necessarily because they're fun to skate and things like that. Like, it really kind of wrecked skating for me for a little while. Well, for a long while, because I ended up injuring myself really fucking bad on a handrail and never really skating seriously after that because of my ankle. But and I did the same thing with music, and, so it's kind of one of these things right here. It's like I want video gaming's like my peace. You can shut out the whole world and just kind of be focused in on this one, and thinking about work or stressors or it's like a really good way to unwind, and I don't ever want to lose that. So I'm still working on a balance as far as this YouTube channel goes. I've been kind of thinking of non-gaming content to post to. I think I have certain things to offer. I've lived a pretty interesting life, all things considered. I do say so myself. Learned a lot of stuff. I don't know. You gotta really beat the hell out of people with the or zombies with the crowbar. It's kind of a shit weapon. I thought these were stashes for a second, but it's just where the asphalt texture was coming through the grass texture. I'm not taking those. It's actually be helpful to rewatch this part, man, because I am pretty sure that I know how to beeline straight to Zalesi or Zalesi, however you pronounce it. I get so far off track here. I literally weave around it and come back in from the south somehow, which I think is the west while I'm playing. So I just get all fucking turned around eventually. And that's like reverse drip right there. Like, I understand that, especially right now where you're not carrying a lot, you could actually kind of justify having chainmail legs on from the weight standpoint, and because all the protection that it gives you. But like, bro, I'm not running around in fucking chainmail. Who does that? It's supposed to make you a tank though if you got the full chainmail outfit on. saw movement right here, but it ultimately ended up just being a shadow on a far off tree. That's where I went wrong right here, I think. I should have stayed to the right of those power lines and followed those up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly where I fucked up right there. Like I said, I've got when I'm playing, I've got a map pulled up on the second monitor, but I'm also not trying to like stop playing so I can alt tab all the time. So I had it zoomed out yesterday to a point where like I couldn't. I was having a hard time finding certain landmarks. So crazy how it's so obvious now I was off, but last night, man, I thought I was on the way somewhere. This is hilarious. When I was playing, maybe was I checking the map? I can't remember what I was doing here, but I'm pretty much. I come up here and I'm like, hey, where are we at? Where are we at? And I'm like, oh, that's Adamau, which is the town east of Zalesi, you know. So I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm like, but shit still don't look right, you know. And I look again, and that's actually Topolin. It's like, this is about where I was like, okay. I have just made a big ass circle. And I'm back in the danger zone, you know. straight lost in the woods at this point. I think the way I was looking there right now is actually looking towards Zalisi, and I didn't know it because I'll turn around. I'm pretty sure I hear gunshots somewhere around here, and I'm still running past the town, but that might be pertinent later when we get to that town. There it is. This is when I finally realized that I've somehow managed to weave all the way around the town that I wanted to. That was right up from where we crossed the river, basically. I'm going back. And a wolf is about to scare the absolute shit out of me. Silent wolves pop up. trying to put my gun away by hitting 2 right there, and it wouldn't let me. I mashed the button a few times, and so that's why I dropped it on the ground. Because I needed to, I couldn't think about that right then. I needed to get some shots on this guy. Yeah, book gave me a pretty substantial bleed. I'm trying to figure out why in the hell my gun wouldn't holster. And I kind of go back looking for it, and I can't quite remember where I drop it. So, I only had one 7.62 by 3.9 shot for it anyway, so I just said, fuck it. But it ends up being a good thing, even though it scared the hell out of me. But this is my stone knife is starting to get wore out, so this is a good way to get bones or new knife. And it never hurts with the wolf that pisses you off. You can go ahead and wear his head for a little while. One last little cursory check to see if I can easily find the gun I dropped. But I'm kind of right now being like, if anybody was in Zalesi, they might be looking for them shots. So. Anytime you can utilize an environmental rock to save you some materials, it's a good idea. So this is where I start having some issues with my inventory again. I'm like, well, shit, I couldn't put my gun away. Now I can't put the bones in my bag. I can't put the knife in my bag. There must be some server lag going on, right? Servers have been kind of on fire since the new update, from what I understand, anyway. But that's probably exactly why I couldn't put my gun in my holster earlier. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna edit this out so y'all don't see what server I'm on right now. Alright, so we get back in. Things go in my inventory again. I think I decide I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah. Since I'm cold, I'm deciding I'm gonna bring my clothes out, but then I'm like, it's cloudy as hell and about to rain. This is a waste of time. I am so turned around that I think I am coming from a different direction entirely. And so I'm still kind of curious about where I'm at, kind of see that sign. It's like, all right, well, I'm here. ahead and clear this jam. I don't know if we hear the zombies yet, but I just anticipate needing to clear some, so. Hemming and hawing because I think the dark blue would stick out less than the light blue, but there's a lot less slots, so I decided to keep this jacket. Leather kit's a good find. There's the new leather repair animation. No, it seems like things that you repair are dropping into the floor right now too. I don't know if they'll fix that or if that's just how it is now. All this makes a little bit more sense now, because like I said, I didn't realize I was coming in from the south, despite that big-ass lake to the south of town there. I thought I was coming in from the west. So I was kind of confused why the zombies were in the woods here, but somebody probably ran out of this town towards the summer camp and pulled them. Trying to just get some eyes on down the town, but the damn window panes were in the way. And so those troughs right there, there was a very small point in time that you could get fresh water out of them. I happened to be learning the game during that time, and I missed when they changed it to where that's water that you need to boil, like you get it out of a lake or whatever. And I don't know how many times I made myself sick and didn't know why I was getting sick, because I was drinking bad water out of those, thinking I had found a trick to get water that didn't involve going to a well. And to the point where I told a guy that I met at a certain point that it worked, and I hope he figured out that I wasn't really trying to fuck with them, you know. Nice little piece of a weapon repair kit. This was a bonus well find. I didn't know where the well was in this town. Definitely picking up some 9 by 19 though. If we get ourselves an M-lock, we'll have almost a full mag's worth. Kind of hemming and hawing between wool or padded gloves. I pretty much always end up with padded gloves though. I'll rock the wool ones if I find them, but I like the padded gloves. Sometimes you find some pretty good loot in the little churches and all, so that's kind of where I'm at in my thinking right now. I'm just gonna pop over here, see what's to see in this. I was kind of thinking I'll eventually make my way over to Blue Medical. I didn't know that was in this town either. Just kind of decide I'm going to aggro half the town here. Got time for this. This was the first time I really got to kind of hear the difference in the footstep audio with respect to the zombies being around you. Like, you can definitely tell where they are better, and I definitely like that for sure. Ultimately ended up being a little bit more immersive sitting in here than it used to be. trouble getting in that door. I almost took these assault boots. But ultimately, you know, I didn't feel like I don't have an assault boot loadout. Those are loud. I still need to kind of be sneaky. I did like finding this revolver, having a couple 357 rounds in there. Loot's different on White Day, man. And just seeing what the normal loot table is before everybody starts scooping shit up and storing it and this, that, and the third. It's kind of crazy. At some point here, maybe by now, I start to hear flies. And this is crazy right here. I can't explain this. Look at this shit. Look at all this shit. The score here is insane. And at the time when I was playing last night, like I was just like straight up flummoxed that somebody would have killed this guy and taken nothing off of him except for like maybe a shotgun, because he had all his shotgun ammo and there's no shotgun accounted for, but I don't think so. The dude's just dead and he's loaded up with shit. You know, he got a four dial, some nails. Wrench clearly is getting prepared to set up a base somewhere. Just laying here dead, and so I was kind of wondering if maybe he got caught out when the server lag was happening and died, and you know, I didn't know what was going on, but at the time I had forgotten that we had heard some shots coming from this direction too. So, you know, maybe he got killed, and who killed him had to run away because of the Z aggro, or I don't know what the hell happened. I don't think I have ever come across a body with this much shit on it. Like somebody just killed it and didn't loot it. And I'm thankful for it. I'm quickly trying to take inventory. Well, I say quickly, this is much slower than it needed to be, and I'm super exposed here because this door's open. You know, it's making me kind of nervous. So I kind of just pull in here with everything so I can start kind of seeing what I may want to keep, maybe what I want. And it's just big macro decisions right now, because ultimately I'm about to consider this a win. Like, you find all this in a town, you go ahead and get the hell out and secure it, in my opinion. I don't need to go to anything else in this town. Especially I got a shovel. I got a dry bag. I can make my first stash that I was talking about making, thinking that I was going to be some couple hours away from even getting to making a stash, you know, when I started this session. So, you know, found a fucking electrical repair kit already. I'm not necessarily planning on building a base this playthrough. I've never built a base before though, so I should do that at some point in time. But I put that stuff down and just keep in mind where I'm at in the playthrough anyway. But yeah, I'm scooting out of here. I'm like, look at all this. You know, I'm gonna try to get it all out of town so I can really kind of go through it and see what I want to keep versus not. You know. So my main thought process here is I'm just trying to get up in the woods, and I'd like to find some trees or some bushes to where I can really sit down and kind of get my head wrapped around what all I've just grabbed. I just noticed that fishing pole collapses when you've got it stored. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm starting to throw away shit that I don't really need. I was keeping that flare in case I wanted to start a fire with it, but I got those matches. I got some sharpening stones, so I don't need the bones really. Actually, in retrospect, I could have probably cut a couple hooks off those bones before I threw them down. Just look at all that shit that guy had. Why? Almost ran off without the dry bag there. Oh, I thought I had made the decision to toss that flare. Alright, so now I'm just feeling like these woods aren't deep enough, and ultimately I'm gonna start trying to, vet a spot to bury a stash. I watch a couple other YouTubers, and they just will, they'll just bury the stash wherever, and it's kind of like, well, if somebody's watching this takes the time to find the server I'm on and find my stash, like, they deserve it, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of paranoid individual anyway, and I just can't see me showing exactly where I'm putting my stashes on video. I mean, you might be able to get a good idea of a general area, but I gotta leave myself a little wiggle room there, especially with playing on official. And, hackers might just find that shit anyhow. I'm just kind of scoping out. I'm like, here we go. Here's a dense thicket of trees. This is more along the lines of what I was looking for right immediately outside of Zalessi. These kind of canopies here where I could kind of post up in and then just like really make a decision what goes in the dry bag for me to stash and, all that. So that's what I just kind of spend a couple minutes here going through everything. Literally a couple minutes because I know I'm going to be, the end of the episode's coming up here soon. So I kind of log out with, I think I trash a couple things, but then I kind of keep everything in my hands. And then when we log in for the next episode, that'll be more when I actually bury the stash. I'm probably not going to bury it exactly right here. Like, I just need to give some thought. And, you know, then it's close enough to the coast, too, to where, you know, if this guy catches a hot one in the next couple episodes and gets sent back to the starting towns, that I can hopefully just find a digging tool somewhere and get back to my stash. This is when I learned that you can't actually put a hunting scope on a Pioneer, which I don't think I knew. I don't know what scope that takes, to be honest. But anyway, it is going to be winding to a close. I'm not quite sure how much longer is on the episode, but I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the support in the face of my extended absence. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. I hope this voiceover thing wasn't too bad and I didn't talk too fucking much through this video. And in some ways this is really cool, and I'm kind of like, man, maybe I should just keep doing this. But second time, it's like, if I'm playing a 2-hour session and I got to resit through a 2-hour session, that's like not time efficient at all. So more than likely next episode I'll be talking live and not talking quite so much because of it. But anyway, I hope everyone has a good day. I hope you enjoy, and I'm looking forward to see what adventures await us on this series. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.